So real quick, I want to talk about these Chicago Bulls. They're 0-16 versus the top 3 teams in either conference. They cannot beat winning teams. It sucks to say. It's crazy to even think about, especially when you compare it to some of these other teams, the Kings, the Pistons, the Magic, the Rockets. Even they got a win, 2 wins from the Kings and the Pistons. But for them to have no wins at all, it's sad. Like, there's really no other word to say, because going into this season, I had high hopes for the Bulls. I really did. I don't know if I necessarily had them as title contenders, but I remember saying I at least had them as second rounders. At least. I just knew they were going to make the second round. But now, honestly, I don't know. And it's true. The Bulls have faced a lot of injuries this season. It's really been unfortunate. They faced a lot of injuries. Lonzo was still out. He's been out since January 14th. The initial timeline was 6 to 8 weeks, and at this point, it's definitely going to be longer than that. Because news just came out that they're going to sit him. He can't run basically for 10 days. He's still having issues with his knee. If you don't know, I had to look it up because he's been out for so long. I forgot what his initial injury was. He actually has a torn meniscus. He had surgery on that torn meniscus on January 28th. But now it's still hurting him. It's not really recovering the way they expected it to. And basically, he can't do anything for 10 days, which isn't a good sign at all. 10 days from now, guys, is April the 1st. The season is over April 10th. And yeah, Rage, that's my other argument I was just about to say. The only team I would say who's probably faced more injuries than the Bulls are the Miami Heat. Bam was out all of November and December. They had so many people in and out of lineup with COVID protocol. And the Heat, they never faltered. They never wavered. I think, honestly, that means that shows the depth of the Miami Heat, the coaching of the Miami Heat. I don't know. And then you start to have the conversation of, okay, so is the Bulls because they were injured? Is it because do they need to tweak a couple of things? Do they need to start looking to maybe make moves in the offseason to try to get better for next season? Because looking at just them lined up versus the other teams in the Eastern Conference, they're not title contenders. They're not. I think even healthy, like you bring back Lonzo, Caruso's just getting back in the lineup, but like, I love Lonzo. Don't get me wrong. I love Lonzo. I think he's one of the better point guards in the league. I think he's an amazing playmaker. His shot I've praised his shot on record multiple times. And I think he's a really, really good perimeter defender. But he's not the missing piece that's going to take them over the top and make them title contenders. At least in my mind. So then you got to start to think what's next for the Bulls. Because they kind of sort of went all in. Like they kind of sort of went all in on this team. And I don't think it was a bad move. I think it was the right move to make. I think you had to prove to Zach LaVine that, hey, man, we realize you're nice. And we're ready to try to put a team around you to win games. To try to win a championship. Because, I mean, Zach had been there for a couple of seasons and they wasn't really doing nothing for him. And I think the main thing the Bulls are going to have to do, they're going to take a hard look at Nikola Vucevic. Because, I mean, I was looking at his numbers earlier today, and they're not bad. But I think the main thing, and this isn't even about his defense, because, I mean, going into the season, especially earlier in the season, I wanted more from him defensively, I'll say. I was skeptical of his defense, but he's become a better defender as the season's got along. He's not like amazing by any means, but he's gotten better than he was, in my opinion. And then if you just look at his numbers, quote unquote, he's not really that worse than his career. But when you look and see, okay, what he was doing in Orlando, and you can say, all right, now Hawk, but he was the number one guy in Orlando. No way. Of course, he's not putting up 23 points, 24 points. And I'm not expecting him to do that. But the thing that is glaring to me the most, his efficiency is dropping so much. The field goals percentage is still there in comparison to some of his other years, but I feel like he should be closer to this 48, 49, 50% from the field. And the most glaring thing to me is his 3-point percentage. Like, he's got years here where he's shooting 40% from three on 6 shot attempts. 40% from three, 6 shot attempts. 36% from 3 shot attempts. Now he's down to 31% from three on almost 5 attempts. I think the Bulls got to take a hard look at Vucevic. Vucevic, honestly has to probably take a hard look at himself and figure out what's going on with him. Like what's the problem here? Because for the shot the shot percentage to drop this drastically from just year to year, something's going on here. They go from 38% last year to 31% this year from three, and only shooting one less three a game. So you're still shooting them. Like the opportunities are still there. The offense is still there. They still want you to shoot the ball because DeMar DeRozan is not a crazy three-point shooter. So having a big who can stretch the floor for him is perfect. That's what helps DeMar DeRozan's game so much. And it's just not there this year. It's just not. So Bulls, I don't know, man. Y'all gotta figure something out. And the last